people enjoy the podcast. People told me. So if you're out there listening to this podcast, let us know. Rate us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. Give the big 5-star, leave a review. Follow us if you're not already following us, or subscribe to us if you're not already subscribed. You have no idea how much that helps us make sure that we can continue to provide the content that you're enjoying and that you share with your friends and family. So please do that if you're not already doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Spread the word. Yeah. Like, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yay.
Today, it's funny. I'm going to airdrop this picture to myself real fast. Screenshot from a wonderful follow on Instagram. I originally saw it from Dr. Paul Wischmeyer, but who's also a good follow. You can find him. He's a intensivist at Duke University, and he's a doctor, but he has a big play in the nutrition realm for things. And the reason why he does that, I think, he hasn't told us directly, but the reason why I think that he's big into nutrition is because he himself has had to be on TPN and tube feeds multiple times in his life for various bowel issues. So he sees the vital importance of it, and then also he's an intensivist. So he also sees the importance of nutrition, especially when you're going through an acute phase of something. There's too many things to name that could be possibly reasons why you're in an ICU and you needed a hospitalist intensivist to be able to take care of you. But great follow. I'll link him in the show notes. But today we're talking about hydration. Specifically,
hydration's important.
Right. We've talked about hydration on a previous podcast, kind of in the simpler sides of it, but this is more specific towards hydration replacement drinks. So in that, what is your favorite rehydration drink? Okay, I'm not saying water.
Right.
But what's your
beer.
favorite beer? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to where I really do enjoy the body armor ones, the sugar-free ones that they have, like them a decent amount of vitamin C and some electrolytes, and like I don't ever feel like outside of some workouts I'm working out so strenuously that I need a ton of sodium, so I don't like doing a lot of the like Gatorades and Powerades and stuff like that. So just kind of getting some vitamins and minerals in me and some good taste that makes me want to just chug it down.
Okay. What's your reason for avoiding the sodium?
I deal with hypertension issues, so I get
Okay.
enough. I'm typical standard American diet, like a lot of people, and track my sodium. Even when I'm watching my sodium, I take in excessive amounts of sodium.
Okay. I know. Understandable. Everybody needs
Yeah.
some amount of sodium. There's different reasons to have less of it, more of it. I would venture to say, so this is me just speculating, that Matt, a good reason for him to have less sodium is because he works out so heavily. If you do a lot of workout and you have a lot of muscle mass and you're really lifting heavy, you have a large volume of blood that's moving around. If your blood pressure gets too high, you push yourself towards the greater risk of some cardiovascular event where you're going to end up doing something and kind of the cell lining of your arteries is really thin. It's a single line of cells. And if you start ripping that, that's kind of where plaque ends up getting built up and needing issues there. So if your blood pressure is too high, you're more likely to have that happen. So Matt controlling his hypertension better through diet and exercise allows him to exercise more fully and maximizing the reps that he does in the gym by controlling his hypertension.
Rather not stroke out of the spot.
Is that because you hold your breath for too long?
No Valsalva maneuver. Yes.
One of our friends in the exercise world, we used to always talk about him during personal training meetings because and he would admit to, he's like, I know I've all solved. We're like, yeah, you turn beet red. Like, you need to breathe, man. You know better. All of us know that you know better because you are the super trainer. Like, so, uh, but you like the sugar-free body armor stuff. I like
They're
the
great for a hangover the next day.
yeah. I used to always for hangovers. I used to always lean into vitamin water. I preferred the dragon fruit flavor. I don't know if it still has the same makeup, but it had a large amount of vitamin C in it and some other kind of antioxidants, which is, when you're going to the hangover, so that's what you want to do. But you want to try and minimize the oxidative stress that you put on your body by over consuming alcohol. Um, and I like that. But my favorite hydration drink for me is either Gatorade Zero or Powerade Zero. And they're really close. There's very small, subtle differences between the two of them. I do
but
not currently.
but see, as UGA alums, we're not allowed to like Gatorade, right? So steer clear
Uh,
of that.
so I have this mixed opinion on it. I greatly despise the University of Florida's athletic teams. They produce some good products out of their university, like the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, which is now a full separate entity. I'm sure it donates some huge sum of money back to the university. And they also have decent, a pretty good health program there where they produce lots of therapies. So, like speech, physical, occupational therapies, respiratory therapies. They have a medical program that's pretty good. I had a surgeon do something. I was in a surgeon's office one time before back in Indiana that had apparently gone to Florida. I didn't have to see the surgeon, but it was all this Florida stuff all over the wall. And I'm standing there in a Georgia hoodie. I'm like, what is all of this in this room? And like, oh, the guy that owns this clinic, he went to the University of Florida. It's like, so he could have put up non-sports related stuff in here because there's a Florida basketball, there's a Florida football, Florida, like all this other Florida merch. But look at us now. Whatever. So, nice shirt, by the way. You got that on.
I was gonna say you're sitting here talking about you can show your loyalty from the university that you went to with non-sports related stuff, and just all I see behind you.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, here's my dog in a jersey. So the funny thing with this, random story here, that jersey that the dog is wearing is actually the sleeve off of a actual jersey, a UGA jersey. And my sister-in-law is how I know they have good therapy schools, is a physical therapist. She got her physical therapy doctorate at the University of Florida. She did her undergrad work at the University of Georgia. And so she has a half jersey, half UGA, half Florida jersey. So either way, that's where that sleeve came over. It was like leftover was the side of that I had to cut off. So it's my dog's jersey for football games. But the reason why I like the Gatorade ones, I don't know enough about the body armor ones, but the Gatorade and the Powerade Zero ones, I don't know how they get away with saying they're 0 calorie. They're not really 0 calorie. They have like 5. I think it's just that it's
Yeah.
less than 10, so they can say it's 0. Or maybe they're saying 0 sugar. I don't know. But they have a carb in it, which you need carbohydrates to move those electrolytes to help rehydrate you. Otherwise,
Yes.
It doesn't work.
That's what Body Armor has, even their sugar-free ones.
Right. So maybe that's saying they're saying it's 0 sugar, right? So I don't know. Haven't looked deeply into the nomenclature of why their labels are labeled the way that it is. But either way, I like those for that purpose. It is a little bit more on the sodium side than Body Armor. There's a little bit more sodium in the Gatorade and Powerade ones, but I think it's still small enough that if you had hypertension and you're not, chugging it throughout the day, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I look back now when I was a kid, and like I would just sit around and drink Gatorade and Powerade, just like while I was sitting around doing nothing. And it's like, Jesus, like that's that was not good.
Yeah, I didn't know. And when I first started in the field of dietetics, there weren't alternatives to it. So we were actually taught kind of cut your Gatorade by halving it with water. And
Yep.
then Gatorade eventually came out with the product that was the G2 at that time. Um, but as the grander customer basis has shifted, they were moving in that kind of way. But what I wanted to share while we're talking about this, I have this image pulled up, is this graph that we got from Dr. Wischmeyer, which was originally came out through, you'll see it on the video for those of you that are watching the video. If you're not watching the video, go check out the video. By this time, it's either on Spotify or YouTube, whatever you want to do. So check it out. Either way, this image here, can you see this, Matt?
I can. It's right there.
All right. Just got to confirm every single time we have frequent issues with technology here.
It's our running theme.
Yeah, it's a fun joke. But this right here, I don't know how to pronounce that. That's who this was originally from. He has this account that is my sports science stuff. But this study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, look at that, talks about the hydration index, giving a value to how well your body absorbs the fluid out of these items. So you'll see here that the still water, that's just regular straight water. Right? So you're absorbing all that fluid. And these other ones, that it's helping you to have a better fluid retention. This is all because they contain carbohydrates. So the essential piece of this orange juice, whole milk, skim milk, and this oral rehydration solution, you're retaining more of the fluid from that. So you're getting better hydrated because of the carbohydrate, and the water attaches itself to protein and carbohydrates when you start consuming things. So it helps transfer that fluid better, and the electrolytes also with it. So I think it's pretty awesome. And then you'll see right there, lager. It's not that far. This one on the sports drink is an osmolarity. The osmolarity is the problem because it has too much carbohydrates in it. But skimmed milk and whole milk, those have smaller amounts in it, and they also have some fat in it. So either way, but hey, look, lager, not that far below regular water. Still,
Cheers.
yeah, it is the joke that we frequently make, like those light beers and stuff like that. It's basically water. So
All right, so I you know me, I always like getting you on a soapbox, and this is something that I've been encountering a lot lately. So what about alkaline
okay, so Matt had mentioned this previously before. So I would say that I am abundantly prepared to answer this question, but that's because I don't need to be.
water?
So the the problem with alkaline water and trying to eat based off of acid base and manipulate your body's acid base balance is that it's near impossible to do off of normal purchase solutions. Alkaline water is not going to do anything for you to help make your body more basic. Your body's just going to flush it out. I'm not going to tell you what you would actually need to do because a guy did that and he's in jail. So I'm not going to do that. But he actually encouraged people. I think the reason why he's in jail is more so because he encouraged people to stop their chemo treatments and just take basic solutions IV, and they died. So
Weird how that works, huh?
yeah, who would have thought? On either side of the acid base balance, your body does a really great job of keeping you in a very tight range.
I would just be very scared if I could easily change the pH level of my body and my blood. Like that, I don't want to be able to manipulate it that easily. Oh, just have an alkaline diet. So, is there ever a time anybody should have alkaline water as opposed to just mineral water or tap water? Or,
No, no, there's no time for that. And the other thing too, so not alkaline water, the other side of it, distilled water. I've seen some people try to push
Yeah,
distilled water. That is also not good for you.
right.
It goes the direction of your diluting your blood because there's no electrolytes in there at all. It would be better for you to drink purified, quote unquote, purified drinking water, or mineral water if you have to go with some kind of bottled water, just because it's going to have some amount of electrolytes and things there to help balance out the amount of fluid that you're putting in. But distilled water, not good for you. And alkaline water, you're wasting your money
No.
just by one of the other things that I mentioned.
My favorite is to see people put lemon juice in their alkaline water.
To improve its flavor,
Yeah, so like
balance out the
I'm
alkaline.
yeah, yeah, I'm taking this acidic.
I have
acidic
neutralized my alkaline water. It's going to be
liquid.
great. It's neutral. It's just back to being regular drinking water now.
I paid 3 times as much for it, but it's still good.
Yeah, what's the point in that? Um, but for those of you out there thinking about it at this time of year, it's getting closer to fall for most of us out there. The temperature is going to start changing a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit cooler. The likelihood that you need a rehydration drink that you'll think you need it is going to decrease. But the probability is that if you're still being very active and doing all those things, even though you may not notice that you're sweating, you probably are still sweating some amount, even if it's a small volume and you just see like a faint amount of sweat on your shirt. You don't necessarily need an oral rehydration drink like the products that we mentioned at the beginning of this episode. But if you were going to, try to get one of those ones that we mentioned, those initial parts of the episode. So something that has a very small amount of carbohydrate in it, something that has electrolytes in it, that is mostly water, and that's going to help out with rehydrating you appropriately without going too far overboard. So, but my go-to thing is that if you are thirsty, it's too late. You're already dehydrated. You should be drinking some amount of fluids throughout the day.
Yeah,
And
it baffles me some of the people I've worked with in the past that when they've come to me for programming that literally don't drink any water and drink very little of other stuff too. It's not like, oh, well, I drink a ton of soda and coffee. It's like, no, I get up, I have my coffee in the morning, and then I really don't think about drinking anything else till dinner. It's like, how are you functioning?
yeah, if you go over 4 hours without having to pee, I'm not saying that you people can hold it, whatever, and you're just like stretching yourself out. Like I can make it 6 hours without going to the bathroom because I'm on this road trip. Whatever, that's you. You do you. I would not. But if you're going throughout your normal day doing your regular thing, and you're going 4 hours without having to go to the bathroom, chances are you're dehydrated.
Yeah, I always love people like I don't like drinking the appropriate amount of water because I have to go pee, and it's like, oh, your body's functioning the way it should. That sucks. Like,
Yeah, literally, my oldest son is that way. He tells me, he's like, if I drink more water, then I'm gonna have to pee more. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. You
it's
should
weird
be.
how that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So even the kid of two dietitians struggles with consuming enough fluids. Um, who knows? But by the way, for all of you out there, what is your favorite hydration drink? What's something that you really enjoy grabbing? Do you have a favorite flavor? Do you have a favorite flavor of body armor, Matt?
Ooh, it's getting harder to find. I like the fruit punch though. And there's like a blueberry pomegranate. But like with Powerade and Gatorade and stuff, you can never say the flavor, you just have to say the color, right? Like nobody ever actually says it's the flavor. Like I gotta
Hey,
get the blue. That's
you know that blue is glacier
yeah.
freeze, okay? All right. Everybody knows that blue is glacier freeze. I usually go with like the lemon lime, and the reason why I
Well,
do that over the other flavors is because I will drink the other flavors too fast.
yeah. I like the lemon lime. I like the fruit punch. Orange always thoroughly enjoyed as a kid with it too. And that
Most
and
of
that
you,
way you can say the flavor and the color, and you're
oh,
right. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, no matter what. But those of you out there, for your favorite rehydration drink, what's your favorite flavor? And have you ever had the issue of being overhydrated? What about you, Matt? Have you ever been overhydrated?
Not that I'm aware of.
I haven't either. But when I was in high school, this guy lost a state cross country meet because he was overhydrated. He fell flat with 200 meters to go. He was coming down the
Jeez.
hill. He couldn't run anymore, and he was winning. So he's in first place, overhydrated himself because he thought it was going to be really hot, and then it wasn't. Um,
Ugh.
yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks to like lose because you over prepared essentially. Like, hey, you did what you're supposed to. Like, it'd be one thing if he was dehydrated. Like, hey, that probably wasn't smart. But like, no, you were doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, yeah. We were like, what happened? It was crazy. But chances are, most of you out there probably not going to hit that point where you're overhydrated. Make sure you drink some water throughout the day. It's going to help you out with no matter what you're doing, whether it's regular work, whether it's exercising, whether it's just lounging around with your friends and family. Either way, make sure you get your water in. And like we say every week, maximize every bite.
Maximize every row.